Hello and welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I am Agam Vakil. Well, what we've seen today is advances for the benchmark indices, and the Nifty, of course, moving up by around the 30 points. But when it comes to the gainers, we're largely looking at gains in the likes of UPL, Bharti Airtel, and Indiabulls Housing Finance. On the losing end, Yes Bank continues to show more weakness. It's now closed below the mark of 100 for the first time in 6 years. And of course, Titan Company, well, bearing down under pressure, largely on account of the downgrade coming in from Morgan Stanley. We have Z Entertainment, Bharti Infratel, and HDR Technologies also coming off in trade. Moving on to your NSE 500, at least as far as your advanced decline ratio is concerned, it's fairly evenly skewed between those stocks which advance and those stocks which move down. But we do have slightly more advances as compared to declines. Corporation Bank advancing by 8%. You have the likes of UPL, Reliance Home Finance, Gen Irrigation, Indiabulls Ventures doing very well in today's day of trade. And of course, on the losing end, Quest Corp is down 13%. I'll talk about Quest Corp in just a bit. Thomas Cook India, Jet Airways, Cox & Kings, Syntex, all of them declining in trade. On that note, let me get in our markets editor, Neeraj Shah, for his thoughts. Neeraj, the economic survey is out of the way now. Now on to the union budget tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the big day comes tomorrow. But Agam, it's played as per script, right? As we were talking about the last 3 days, that will meander along in a small way, right. 11,800 to 12,000, and we are smack in the middle of that range, so to say.
Right.
And the volumes too tepid ahead of that big day. Even though it was an FNO expiry today, and while the FNO volumes will be higher, cash market volumes still sub 30,000 crores. I would doubt that the FR, the DI participation would also have been very high. So specific stocks may have moved around. But otherwise, you see, it's just been a very, very flattish kind of a move, and not expected otherwise also. So yeah, the big day tomorrow, maybe not too much from a market perspective, but I think over the years, I think the budget has become a lot less market impacting an event.
Right.
So maybe there's nothing dramatic that happened.
Absolutely.
And tomorrow when we do the market wrap, or tomorrow when you do the market wrap, you'll probably talk about the same thing. That there's hardly any movement that has happened. Yeah. But yeah, tomorrow is an interesting day. Maybe the fixed deficit numbers here and there could alter the movement of the Nifty. Otherwise, let's wait and watch.
Yeah, let's wait and watch. Yes, thanks you for that. Those thoughts out there. But well, let's talk about some elements which have moved in the markets. Of course, from the primary markets now on to the secondary market, we do have an IPO which came through and listed today. We have Somit Sarkar who's joining us to give us an idea on the same. Somit, how did the new kid on the block do?
Well, it was a very strong listing that we have seen, and that too after a very long time. So Intermesh, which got listed on the exchanges today, it opened nearly 21% higher, but it also closed nearly 34% higher in trade today. The issue price was nearly 973 for the share price, and it closed at close to 1,300 rupees in trade today, and it opened at close to 1,180 rupees. That is 21% higher. Now, the company had raised close to 476 crore rupees through an offer for sale, where 3 private investors and the promoters had offloaded their stake in the company. Now, the issue price of the company was nearly 973, and it listed at a premium of 21%, and that was because on the back of the strong subscription numbers that the company had seen. The total IPO was subscribed nearly 36 times, with most of the demand coming in from the HNI portion, which was subscribed nearly 60 times. Also, QIB and retail portion saw a good demand of nearly 31 times and 14 times in trade, and we saw a good listing and a good gains for that stock in trade today.
All right, Somit, thanks a lot for joining us and getting us through what that new IPO has done today. But on to 2 other stocks which did see considerable moves today. And I have Sharad Dubey once again joining us to give us an update on the same. Sharad, what's on your list today?
Well, 2 stocks are there on the list. Firstly, I'll speak on Uniply Industry. There's a very big movement in which the stock hit almost 9-month high. If we see the numbers over here, the stock ended at around 66.95. This is based on the news that Kuwait's group Markab is planning to buy 29.21% stake. Now, what will happen is an open offer will be triggered, and if I can give you the details, the Kuwait company is going to acquire the company for around 313.84 crore rupees, and the open offer is for 26% share of capital, and the offer price is at 82 rupees. That makes it relatively premium, almost between 15 to 20% if we take into the today's closing price in the consideration. And apart from this, the total consideration for this open offer will be around 405 odd crores. So it was a very good cheerful for the shareholders today. And the next stock I would like to talk about is your Vodafone Idea. Now, this telecom stocks, all of them were up today, and the stock was up almost 2.5% today. It closed actually So basically, Financial Express has quoted the telecom and IT minister had sent a letter asking to cut down the the license fees. So basically, the license fees is around 8%. It is divided into two functions. The first one is for the universal service debt obligation, and another is the general license fees. So basically, the minister stated in the letter that around the rural tele-density has reached around 59.5% as of December 2018, and the ministry has urged to cut this fees from around 5% right now, which I had stated, to around 3%. So this will actually help, deleverage the companies, the telecom companies, and Vodafone Idea is, going to get the most positive impact, going ahead. And Agam, I would also like to point out, like in the mid-cap space itself, realty stocks and fertilizer stocks are, also buzzing, going ahead into the budget tomorrow.
Of course. Sure. Thank you so much for getting us those details. So we'll be, of course, watching out for those realty companies as well as some of the fertilizer companies. But finally, a very quick take on Quest Corp, which has seen, as you can see on your screen here, a very, very sharp decline today. In fact, it's down by as much as 13%. Well, we did speak to the management, and it just so happens that Quest Corp has started seeing extreme selling in just the last 4 odd sessions. This is since its annual report came in. Now, what's come through the annual report is that one of its associate companies owes Quest Corp, that is the main company, about 151 odd crores. However, that is also undergoing, in the insolvency process, which puts into question whether or not there'll be a recovery. We spoke to the management, and the management is very confident that there certainly will be a recovery of those dues. However, what they're not certain of is when those dues will come through, because this is unrelated to the insolvency proceedings. That said, we're going to have to wait and watch as to how this impacts Quest Corp, because it's not really just about this specific aspect, even though it may have a bearing on the bottom line on the whole. Of course, it's also the tricky acquisitions that it's made over the past 2 years, which are also bearing down on the operational performance of the company, and that is something that is going to be keenly watched out on. On that note, it's a wrap on the markets, but it's another big day tomorrow for the union budget. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint, and we'll keep bringing you more.